Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Sound Blaster Roar II. Now if you remember earlier this year, I reviewed the first iteration of the Roar, which was a great Bluetooth speaker, ton of features, really solid build quality. So Creative and Sound Blaster have now released their follow-up to that, which is 20% lighter. It's got a $30 price reduction, and they've also added in some different color models. They got a white one here, which is the one I got to review. So let's go ahead and dig right into it and see what comes in the box with the Sound Blaster Roar II. So opening up the top of the box here, we have your basic literature that you would expect to see with a device like this, along with two rubber feet, which you can use to attach to the front of the unit in case you want to have it mounted so that the speakers are facing towards you rather than facing upward. This same rubber strips are already pre-attached to the bottom of the unit to prevent slippage when it is sitting on your desk or your table, countertop, wherever you happen to place it. So as you can see there, the white and black model that I received from Creative definitely fits in with my desktop theme, my white and black setup that I have going on here. So it's going to look really nice on my desk. But there is also a black and gray model for all you Raider fans out there. If that's something you're looking for, go Raiders. There is also an external power brick, which you get with it, so you can charge the unit or just keep it plugged in full time if you're going to keep it stationary and not move it around all that much, as well as a micro USB to USB cable, which you can use for powering it from your PC, listening to music from your PC, or transferring music from your PC to a micro SD card, which you can install inside the Sound Blaster Roar II. So looking at the design of the Sound Blaster Roar II, they got their 20% weight reduction on this guy, so it is a little bit smaller than the Sound Blaster Roar. They've gotten rid of the grills on the left and right side, which gives it a really nice look. I like seeing the subs there, especially when you got some bass thump and you can kind of see them kicking back and forth. It gives it a really nice effect when you are listening to your music. It has a metal, plastic, and rubber construction, and it just has a really solid body. This thing is basically a brick. I mean, there's no flex whatsoever in the body to the Roar II. So if you just need something solid and rugged that you can kick around and have with you on a day-to-day basis, then the Roar II would definitely hold up to that type of environment. I know because my original Sound Blaster Roar, I actually wound up giving to my father, who works in construction, has so for about 30 years, and he's been kicking that thing around for about 7 or 8 months now on the job site in New York City, on a construction job. So, and that thing is still in mint condition, absolutely flawless, still working to this day, despite being in that dusty, rugged environment of a construction site. So that build quality has definitely continued along to the Sound Blaster Roar II, despite having a reduction in weight, reduction in price. They have definitely not skimped on the quality of the build on the Sound Blaster Roar II. So you can listen to your music in a few different ways with the Sound Blaster Roar II. Of course, you can pair it up over Bluetooth as well as NFC. So if you have an Android or a device that supports NFC, you can just go ahead and one-touch it right to the unit, and bam, you're going to be off and running. Don't even need to bother with any of that pairing nonsense that you would with Bluetooth, but Bluetooth is there if you do need to use the Bluetooth functionality. You can also use the expandable storage option of putting in a micro SD card. This basically has a built-in MP3 player, so you can go ahead and transfer your music over to a micro SD card, pop it in the unit, and then you've got your music ready to go anywhere. So even if you don't have a mobile device available with you with music on it, you've got your micro SD card in there ready to go with some tracks that you can go ahead and play anywhere. Lastly, you could plug this right into your computer with the included micro USB cable and just run the audio directly to it. It shows up right in your sound devices, just like any other sound speaker or headphones would on your PC. You could just select it in the sound devices as the primary speaker, and you'll be off and running. You can listen to your music on it right at the desktop. You could even plug this into a PS4 using the same cable if you wanted to get your audio out of a PS4 or Xbox One, something like that. So looking at the top, we have our basic functionality up here, your power button, volume up and down, as well as a Bluetooth pairing button, which you can use to take and receive phone calls. So there is a built-in microphone on this, so you can receive phone calls on it. You can record voice messages, which will go right to your micro SD card if you have one installed on the unit. There's controls on the back for recording or playing and pausing any voice recording. So if you need to record a voice memo, something like that, you can do that right to your micro SD card as long as you have one in and you have the switch enabled to the mass storage option. There's also this Roar button here, which allows you to enable the Terabass or the Roar functionality, which essentially kicks up the volume on the Roar option, and the Terabass kicks up those low levels, gives you a better sound signature for the lows. Now, in my testing, I did experience that when I did raise the Terabass on this, that the mids and highs kind of got washed out and muddled a bit on some music. If you're listening to something like house, trance, drum and bass, something like that, you're not going to notice it too much. You're just going to get that that nice thump when you put on the TerraBass option. But if you were listening to something like rock or something like that with the really nice high mids and highs with the brightness of the strings, then you're gonna get some mixing of the coloration there on the audio, in my opinion. You're going to see that low kind of overshadowing the mids and highs, which did not give a pleasant listening experience for me listening to that type of music. But for hip hop, you know, like I said, house music, it's going to sound great using that option. So it's definitely there if you want to use it. So rounding up the back of the unit, you can see we have our AC power outlets here for charging the unit, as well as a USB port. Now you can actually use this to charge your mobile device on the go. So in case you happen to stray too far from a wall unit or a PC where you can't charge your mobile device anymore, you have a battery backup right here in the Roar 2 that you can go ahead and charge on your mobile device. Granted, that is going to drain some of your 8 hours of battery life that you otherwise would have had on the Roar 2. Now in my testing, I did run this, you know, from full charge and let it go all day at full volume, and it came in at just over 8 hours, so they are definitely living up to what they are advertising as an 8-hour battery life on the Roar 2, so it's nice to see that. It's a decent amount of time, not as much as some other units out there, but 8 hours honestly is more than enough for me. It's going to stand up to a workday if you are bringing this on something like a job site, like I mentioned there. It's going to last most workdays unless you're pushing in some serious OT. You can also get a case from Creative for your Roar 2. This is a $40 additional charge, though. You would have to pay an extra $40 for a case for the Roar 2, and in my opinion, it's really not worth it for what you're getting. It's basically like a speaker sock. You just slide your speaker in there, and then it's in there. It doesn't really get a whole ton of protection. It's not waterproof. It doesn't seal all the way around, which is one of my major complaints about it. First off, it doesn't have any Velcro, which seals the top down, and also parts of the speaker are exposed on the sides here where the flap comes down, as well as where the shoulder strap loops are for the shoulder strap to go ahead and feed through on the side. So this really eliminates any sort of serious protection as far as, you know, water is concerned, or any type of liquid. If you get this wet inside the case, it's going to be probably ruined. So that's a complaint I have about the case there. Can't really recommend spending an extra $40 on this case when it really doesn't do that much to actually protect the unit, which is something I would want to see in a case. So outside of my minor issues with the case and not really finding much benefit from the TerraBass for the type of music that I listen to, I really don't have any major complaints about the Sound Blaster Roar 2, which is why it's getting a strong recommendation for me as one of the best Bluetooth speakers out there for the money. With its direct competitor being the Bose System 2, which is $199, a full $30 more than this, and doesn't have as many features, that's why the Roar 2 is going to be my best Bluetooth speaker for the money in 2015, and it's why I'm giving it a recommendation here today. If you want information to where you can get it, go ahead and check my Amazon links down in the description below, which go to help to support the channel, and leave a like on this video below if you enjoyed it or if you learned something new, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ta-ra.